As we all know, the goal of the PPP was to save jobs, literally to protect paychecks. And now that we have a lot more information about who got the money, maybe we can figure out if this program worked. Kate Rogers is looking at that part of the story for us. And Kayla Tausche has details of the money that went from D.C. to D.C. But, Kate, let's start with you. You've had roughly 24 hours to look over that partial list of the recipients. What have you discovered here?
Hey there, Bill. Well, we saw everyone from Kanye West's Yeezy brand to P.F. Chang's China Bistro listed on this massive disclosure from yesterday. In total, 650,000 plus names were disclosed on this massive spreadsheet for loans above $150,000. Now, remember, this is just about 14% of the recipients in this program. The average loan size was $107,000. So the vast majority of the recipients of PPP won't be released. One important question, though, does remain here. How many jobs did the program actually save? The administration says 51 million jobs were supported by PPP. This is defined as the number of employees that a business had when applying for the loan. But what we don't know is how many of those jobs are still intact today, as the forgiveness process has just begun. Remember, you need to use 60% of this loan on payroll in order to be forgiven. What's more, just under 50,000 businesses listed, 0 jobs retained on the data that were released yesterday. Another big question here is, how did firms who either canceled or did not receive PPP loans even make the list? 2 VC firms, Index Ventures and Foundation Capital, as well as scooter company Bird, said that they did not take out loans but wound up on the list. CNBC's asked the SBA to clarify how this is possible, because canceled loans, of which there are about $30 billion worth, were not supposed to be included in the disclosure. And one more thing to remember, as we mentioned yesterday, the program has been extended through August, so we'll be seeing another data dump, according to administration officials, once that round closes of loans once again above $150,000. Back over to you.
Now, as we know, this program was designed to help small businesses, whatever the definition may be, but you have found, as most of us have, when you look over that list, that there are some businesses that sort of stretch the definition of small in that regard. Banks have been the gatekeepers in this. They are the ones that help their customers apply for these PPP loans. Is that where the breakdown occurred? How did some of these larger entities find themselves receiving money that was supposed to be earmarked for small business?
You know, there are a bunch of different ways. Obviously, all of these companies were able to apply under the law as it was written. And remember, this was really rushed out of the gate in order to get aid into the hands of small businesses that truly needed it. You know, when this launched, we talked about there being enough blame to go around between the government, the banks, the businesses that potentially stretched the limits. But yes, you had to apply with the bank and fill out a much shortened SBA application, once again, to get the money out the door quickly. In terms of larger entities, some of them could file under separate, smaller entities, and that's how we're seeing some larger names, you know, get this money. And once again, Bill, up to the public to decide, you know, if they feel that this was properly done. But we had a feeling that there were going to be some surprises on the list for sure.
And there were. Kate, thanks very much. Kate Rogers. Speaking of surprises, the list of people and businesses in Washington that received PPP money may surprise you. Kayla has that part of the story for us. Kayla?
Hey, Bill, among the 700,000 recipients of those large PPP loans, some bold-faced names stand out. Family businesses associated with some Trump administration officials did receive loans. Foremost Maritime, a shipping company run by Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao's family, received up to $500,000, though a DOT spokesman says that she is not affiliated with the business in any way and has no idea how they got the loan. A trucking company founded by Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue received up to $350,000. A spokesperson for USDA says that the loan was roughly $182,000, supported 27 jobs, and complies with all ethics rules. Separately, a media company, 2 hotels, and a school with backing from the Kushner family also received loans. Now, on Capitol Hill, access to BPP was bipartisan. A loan went to a winery in which Republican Devin Nunes has a stake, and a tech company that counts Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul, as an investor. Family businesses of 2 Oklahoma Republicans also received money, and the former employer of Democratic Senate candidate Cal Cunningham also got aid. Now, the advocacy groups who received aid raised eyebrows because of their critiques of the size and rollout of the stimulus. Grover Norquist's small government outfit got up to $350,000. Right-wing production outlets run by former House Speaker Newt Gingrich and Trump advisor David Bossie got loans, and left-leaning Media Matters and Better Markets got payouts too. Finally, among dozens of law firms listed were 3 smaller shops that employ President Trump's impeachment defense attorneys, Jay Sekulow, Eric Hirschman, and Robert Ray. Those firms got up to $14 million. Now, Bill, there are dozens of law firms, even more lobbying shops and private schools with deep endowments and political ties that got money. There's simply too much to include in a minute of airtime. Bill and Kelly, back to you.
But you gave it the old college try there. Thank you, Kayla Tausche. See you later.